Hey everyone, this is part 3 of our Photoshop tutorials. I'm going to talk here about how I made this little fake shadow. All right. First of all, if you have a layer and you don't want it anymore, you can simply drag it to the trash can. There we go. Okay, let's talk about how I made that shadow. So first of all, I just choose this layer. I just do select all, Command C, Command V. I get a whole new layer. Now it's important that this layer is right above the apple layer there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do with this, first of all, is hit Command U or Control U for hue and saturation. And I am going to make this black. Okay. Just lightness all the way to -100. All right. So there's that. Then what I'm going to do is transform this. So what I can do is go to Edit, Transform, and I'm going to flip this horizontal. No, I am going to flip this vertical. Transform, flip vertical. There we go. I have an upside down image. And next step is I am going to scale this. So I'm going to hit Command T. That's not what I wanted at all. Okay, let's try this again. I'm on Photoshop, Command T. There we go. And I'm going to shrink this down, but I'm going to hit the Shift key in doing so. So squishing this down, kind of thinking a little bit about how it would project. It's going to be pretty squashed because there's not direct sunlight coming in here. Something like that looks pretty good, right? You can use the arrow keys if you want to nudge it up a little bit, or you can drag it however you want to work. I'm just going to nudge it up a little bit with the arrow keys to get it about right there. That's good. Okay, next step, I'm going to hit return, and I am going to reduce the opacity. So here on this layer, go over to opacity. Let's try about 38, 29%. I don't know. You just choose whatever looks visually best. This is far too of a hard edge shadow for me. I want to blur it and fuzz it out a little bit. So I'm going to use a filter for this. Go to filter, go to blur, go to, I like Gaussian blur, choose that one. And here you can do something that is extreme, like barely there, or you can slowly bring back a little bit of form so that it has a little bit of something there. Probably, okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe not. Let's go back a step in the history. Try this again. Filter. If you see the Gaussian blur up here, it's going to put the exact same blur on again. So you want to choose this one down here again. It can be helpful if you're doing multiple functions for the same thing. Let's try 8. All right, 8 looks pretty good. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. And okay, now here's a little bit what I want to do with this thing. I'm going to go in and just erase out this part here. All right, so I'm going to choose the eraser tool. I'm going to make sure I've got a really soft brush that's a little bit larger. Something like that looks good. And I'm just going to slowly work my way from top to bottom, getting this to blend really nicely. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I've got this nice little soft shadow there. Kind of getting this to integrate a little bit better. I still have these bright highlights around here. I probably would get rid of that eventually, but for this tutorial, that's good. All right, let's put a title on here and talk a little bit about what more we can do. All right, let's go to the text tool. So the text tool is automatically going to add in a layer. Okay, as soon as you start typing, what you want to do is click it wherever you want to add your type. Okay, it's going to put in lorem ipsum, okay, automatically, just so you can see the font. That allows you to first choose the font that you want to use. Okay, so maybe I will do something like Big Carlson, so it's a little bit more official. When you hover over the text, you'll get the cursor. When you hover outside of it, you'll get the move tool, so I can move this anywhere that I like. Maybe something here. Okay, and I can just call this Manu. Okay, Now, if you don't like the color, I do like the pink, but I'm going to make it more bright white so you can see it better. Here's FaceTime. Okay, let's pause for a second. Sorry for that. Where were we? Let's change the color. All right, I've got this selected. I'm going to go to, let's say, white instead. Hit OK, and there you have it. Okay, a couple of last things. If you want to add some measurements to this, there is a tool over down here that is shapes and lines and things like that. I'm just going to grab this line tool and maybe I'll make, so you have a fill and you have a stroke when you make a line. Okay, for this, I'm going to use a stroke. I'm going to choose this red color and maybe I'll make this like 6 points. All right, 6 pixels. And then we can simply, this is also going to create a new layer. So I'm just going to go over here and like draw a line this way and hit shift so it goes nice and parallel. Okay. Then I'm going to go down below here and click and draw a line holding shift to go parallel this way. Okay. And then finally, I'm going to click here, right about here, click and shift and go down here. And now I get this nice like kind of measurement, right? Then I'll go into my text tool and down here, this does not need to be ginormous, so I will make it maybe 30. And we can call this like, you know, a size. So let's just say it's like 12. That is way too small. So let's take this and scale it up. There we go. And let's make it red color like the other one. Okay, and we can move it so that it makes more sense. All right, there we go. Okay, a little hard to read. Maybe white would have been better. At any rate, you get a sense of this. I can add some text in here. I can add some measurements. I can do a few of these elements to make it look like it sinks into the scene. And this gives you plenty to work on in Photoshop to add more elements into your project. All right, that's all for now. See you soon.